Hello, friends. Chris Corsi here, and I want to welcome you to the Relational Skills in Real Life podcast. I'm glad you're here. Today's topic is relational skills thrive today and how all of this fits into the life model. You see, there's a lot of confusion at times, whereas people are trying to put these puzzle pieces together of what does life model works do? What does thrive do? What is the overlap? And so we're going to tease this out a little bit today. And I'm excited to talk about this topic because you know what? Everything started with the life model. When I first went into ministry in the 1990s, I came across a manuscript of Living from the Heart Jesus Gave You. And when I read this book, it explained my life. It explained my church. It explained my family. It explained where I was stuck. And you see, the life model is a broad, idealized model. And one of the things about the life model that we used to teach is the five to thrive. And the five to thrive are five core ingredients that help us live a full, impactful, mature life. And the first ingredient in the five to thrive is belonging. And belonging means we have family and community. These are the people where we belong. These are our people, our tribe. And when you have belonging, you can then receive and give life, which is the second ingredient. So here we inhale before we exhale. We receive life. We receive joy. We build joy. So we receive the good things before we can give the good things. And sometimes we get stuck because we haven't received or we're too busy giving. And this can get a little lopsided. So we belong, we receive and give life, and then we recover when things go wrong. And you know what? Things do go wrong in this world. Things do go wrong in our families and our communities. And so this third essential recovery really is about attuning and connecting, building relationships, and fixing things when they go wrong. When the train goes off the tracks, we bounce back, we recover. And the fourth ingredient is maturity. So when we belong, we receive life and we give life. We recover when things go wrong, then our maturity is going to grow. And so when our maturity is not growing because some of these essentials are missing or are undeveloped in some ways, we don't reach our full God given potential. But as we're growing, as we're maturing, then the icing on the cake here with the fifth ingredient is we live from the heart. We live from the eyes and the ears and the spirit. We live with that awareness of God's interactive presence close by. And sometimes when we're not living from our heart, we're living from our hurt. We're living from our pain. We're reactive. And so these five ingredients really provide a lens to help us understand where am I stuck and where do I need to grow. So I came across this manuscript of Living from the Heart Jesus Gave You, and I eventually met Jim Wilder. And I heard Jim talking about the life model. He's talking about how God designed us for joyful relationships. And he talked about maturity, and he talked about these five to thrive ingredients, and it just made so much sense to me. It resonated, and it explained why I was stuck and where I had gaps and deficits in my own life. And so I want to tease out a little bit about what is the life model? What is this all about? And so the life model is meant to be a unifying approach to the ministries of counseling and recovery, pastoral care, prayer ministry, deliverance, inner healing, child rearing, and it really heart health, life and death, and our overall well being. And so the life model is this really idealized model for what is needed when. And it teases out how brain science, talks about what human beings need to blossom. And it talks about what communities need in order to grow and become more Christ-like. So what we have with the life model is this multi-generational model of redemption and maturity across the lifespan. And so we bring together the best in brain science as well as a biblical worldview. So, friends, there's really three pillars in the life model that helps to understand. And the three pillars are basically that we need multi-generational community. So this is where that maturity comes in. We need people from all ages and stages of life to help us grow and develop and be our best self. This is where the fruit on the tree gets ripe. We get ripe. We become the people that God created us to be. So multi-generational community. And then we have an Emmanuel lifestyle where we live with that awareness of God's interactive presence. And so we live with a sense of God's peace, or what we like to call God's shalom, where everything is right where it needs to be. So we live in Emmanuel lifestyle. We live in a multi-generational community where we mature, we receive and give life. And then that third pillar happens to be relational brain skills. And these are the skills that we learn in our families and our communities, that the people we interact with download these relational skills that we will use to become gentle protectors. So this is a broad overview of the life model, and there's a ministry called Life Model Works that really, it's a nonprofit organization that lives to spread the life model, to apply the life model, to develop the life model. And so Life Model Works creates a lot of practical tools and resources so churches can build community and really transform lives. So the Life Model Works is really the umbrella organization for the life model. And then we have Thrive Today, which is the ministry Jen and I and a great team of people lead. And Thrive Today really applies the life model through two of those pillars, especially. So one is the Emmanuel lifestyle. We train people to live with that awareness of God's interactive presence. That's actually what we would consider a learned skill. How do I live with that awareness that Jesus is with me right now? How do I train my brain's attention system to find God in the good times as well as the bad times? The other thing we really focus on happens to be relational skills. So this is where we strengthen and learn these relational skills so that we become gentle protectors. So we live with joy and peace, where we bounce back from strong emotions. And so what Thrive Today focuses on really are the training resources to help you learn these skills so that you can become the best version of who God created you to be. Now we do touch on the maturity a little bit because that's also a trainable skill. We help people in our trainings identify their maturity, identify some resources where they're stuck, and identify some next steps to help them grow. And so at Thrive Today, we're very actively creating these opportunities for you to engage exercises and interactions through repetition and practice to grow relational skills. And friends, this has changed my life. I gotta say, learning the life model and living the life model has profoundly impacted me to become the best version of myself. I'm a better father to my sons. I'm a better husband to my wife. I'm a better friend. I am better able to become and express the life that God's put in me and become who God created me to be. This is life-changing stuff, my friends. And so I just want to leave you with this thought of thinking about those pillars and the five to thrive. What is it that you need? Do you need to work on the belonging in your family and in your community? Are you stuck because you're not receiving enough life? Maybe you're giving too much and not receiving. Or maybe there's some rocks in your shoes that need to be removed that's keeping you stuck. Or maybe there's something in your maturity that's stalled and that you're not becoming the full ripe version of who God created you to be. Or maybe you feel like you're not living from the heart that God has given you. Maybe pain, maybe fear, maybe something else is directing your life. And so we might need multi-generational community. We might need to practice an Emmanuel lifestyle a little more often, or maybe we need some relational brain skills to get unstuck. Friends, this is a very broad lens, but it's a very useful lens to help us become the people that God knows we can be and to live from the heart that Jesus gave you. So it's my prayer for you today that you will find those ingredients. You'll find the community, the spiritual family that you need. You'll receive life, you'll give life, you'll recover when things go wrong, you'll mature, and you'll live from the heart that Jesus gave you to be your best self. So may this be the start of something good for you, friends. And if you want to learn more about these topics, visit thrivetoday.org. There's a history of Thrive webinar that we have. You could read Living from the Heart Jesus Gave You, or Joy Starts Here if you haven't. Or you could visit lifemodelworks.org and learn more there. Lots of good stuff, my friends. Have a wonderful day.